another, what I would call an abstract impression painting. I was thinking of a snow scene, but we could do a snow scene, couldn't we? We've had a lot of snow in the UK. Well, not down here in London, but up in the north in Scotland. It's been quite an eye-opener. Right, when you use acrylic, make sure you cover your good clothes up, because if you get acrylic on your jeans and your new jeans, that'll be it. Right, I can't show you the colours because my camera's in a fixed position, but I've got my few colours that I'm using. I've got a black, and I've got a burnt umber, an ultramarine, a cadmium red, an orange, a yellow ochre, and a cadmium yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colours plus white. This is a small primed board, hard board, and I've used PVA glue for my pot here. It's diluted from a big can with 2.5 litres in it, or 3 litres. And I've got a little palette here that I've got some that hasn't gone off yet. It's about 2 parts PVA glue and 1 part of water, and you can use it as a medium for the initial washes. It'll help to seal this is still a little bit damp, so it'll help to seal it. So I'm going to just put in a bit of a warm grey sky. So just I use a bit of umber, a bit of ochre, and just tint the board. I'll add a bit of red to that, I think. No super realism or anything like that. I don't do that. I'm not a lover of super realism, as you know. Probably because I can't do it. But no, it's whether you're stuck with the idea that painting is all about copying from a photograph and how well you can copy it, isn't it? It's creating something that a viewer will find interesting, and primarily you will find interesting to do, and you will enjoy the colour. Use loads of colour, unless you're doing a tone study, in which case, totally different. Let's get it down here. Get some whitey bluey stuff in here. I'm just feeling my way around this at the moment. Nothing in mind in particular. There may be a bit of a background. This is the second one I've done this morning. I did this afternoon now. I did a rocky scene, which unfortunately you can't see because I mucked up the recording button. In fact, I paused it rather than recorded, so you can see a still of it on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Dave Usher Artist. In my opinion, let's use a bit of ochre in there and a bit of white. Let's just. I've used a bit of plaster filler to use as a gesso. Check that over there, killing the canvas. Okay, let's get a bit of black and a bit of blue and a bit of white. Oh, all very simple stuff. Just putting it on until you've got something that you're happy with, or I'm happy with. Just warm it up, warm that grey up with a bit of this and a bit of that. Right, I've changed the brush. and I put in a bit of a blue black background, like of trees in the distance, but on the blue side, going away to sort of nothing. Not sure I like that. So I'll just knock that out. Being acrylic, of course, it dries very quickly. But the thicker it is, the longer it takes to dry, of course. Let's get that over there. We'll go back to that blue and the black. A bit of red in it. Why not? Warm it up a little bit. Sort of favourite effect. This is just getting a bit of distance in. We can add a little bit of red. Not quite as much, but let's just get it. I always get quite creative when I look at Jackie Gardner. Her lovely timeline, or go on her Facebook page. You'll learn an awful lot from her. How to get it all in and leave it all out. We've got Andre Palais, and British Impressionist. He does some wonderful, wonderful impressionist, highly impressionist stuff. Right, I need to dub out some more white. There we go. If you throw a lot of paint away at the end of your session, it means that you haven't used enough. Alright, let's get some grey stuff in there. Bit of grey. I'm going to have a little bit darker here and there. Get some warmer greys in there. Just drag over. So it's sort of semi-abstract, but I want it to be on the impressionist side. I want to get a tree in, but I'm not ready for a tree yet. Coming up here. The noise you hear is the dustmen. Just drag over it all. Just reduce. Well, there are a million ways to do what I'm doing. Some colour in there. Could even be my Morden Hall Park on the Wandle ride. We would normally do tomorrow, but I think we might cry off because the weather's looking a little bit iffy. So we might go to an art gallery or museum up in London. We've all got our freedom passes, which means that us old gits can go up for nothing on the train, the buses. I think there are a lot of citizens think that us old age pensioners get too much, but they'll be old one day. They'll be grateful that they can travel around London for free, because when we're out, we spend money. Bit of a rant that one, isn't there? Never mind. Let's have colour in the snow. Bit of red in the foreground. Oh, nice. I like It's pleasing yourself. It's not. It's getting away from the tyranny of landscape copying. I spent years doing all this, of the copying and kidding myself. That I was doing art, thinking that's what art was all about. But I think that's because many of us are self-taught. We don't have a very good teacher. Nobody to tell us that we're supposed to be creating work, not clever bits of copying. No disrespect to anybody that is very good at it, because it's all art and craft. Yeah, that's going on there. I might put some blues in there just to get a bit lighter. I've got a little frame downstairs, a little 10 by 8 frame. This is a 10 by 8 painting. So we have funny ideas, we don't really know what we're talking about half the time. I mean, I think of great draftsmen like Smoothie 77 and Michael James Smith. And we've got our own Andrew Usher, who paints some superb, well, he's just done a fabulous painting. It's impressionist rather than a copy. Teresa Allen on British Facebook, who I know, we exhibited together a couple of times. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful artists. They see things in a way that you only could dream of, or I could only dream of. Right, I suppose we could put in a little bit of green in there somewhere. But then that makes it a bit colourful, doesn't it? But then, colour. We're not doing a tone study in one colour, are we? I'll just move my little screen so I can see what it's looking like. Yeah, I can strengthen up there a little bit. I'll use that ultramarine blue, bit of white, a bit of red. I will. No, I'm going to darken that. Make it a bit more acid with a bit of orange. A bit of neat red. Red always seems to go down well. It sort of picks out a bit of highlight. I'm not going to put any river in this. Some bushes now. Let's get at the green. I'm going to use a little bit of Viridian, I think, just to mix with my yellow. I'll put it close by, just a tiny bit. I'm using mostly Wilkinson's colour, store-owned acrylic, because it's cheap and it comes in they come in large tubes. They're not a great range of colours. Wilkinson's, Wilco's, is a British shop. Oh, let's see what we can do with a bit of that. Just drag it gently over that. A bit of red with it. Just some grass sticking through the snow there. Put some red in there. I'm trying to really get you to think out of the box. Especially if you're a beginner, not to Where you end up is another thing. When you have much more experience, where you end up is the important thing. Where you end up. Not me. I'm still learning. I'm still in there practicing. Got a nice bit of colour in there. This is an inch varnish brush, Pro Art. I'm going to put some snow back over some of that now. I don't want to repeat myself. It seems I started to repeat myself there, so I want to change that. So let's get in some bit of very slightly bluey, purpley, mauvey. Shadowing. Then we'll work at the sky a little bit. Let's just put in some of that. Oh, I just have some snow in there. Just losing that bit there, a little bit. Right, now for the fun, sky. Shorthand for snow falling or catching the light, whatever. Someone will complain, oh, I've already done that. But hey, I know that it's painting. Nobody else has done it. It's totally original. Got that little bit of red in there. Okay, now we've got an impression of distant trees going off into the distance with some reedy grass sticking up in the snow. Let's get more in there. And if somebody does mention that, I don't blame them, so I'm going to change that. Because I think I've overdone it. So I'll go back with my grey, a bit of grey in there. So a bit of blue, a bit of red, a bit of white. A bit of ochre, warm it up. That was all right before I mucked about, wasn't it? Right, let's go back to the colours. There's a bit of yellowy ochre-y, bluey, reddy. Okay, got a bit of that grey in there. You know, I'll put just a touch of the white back in. Okay, that'll do. I'll put a signature on it. If I can get a signature on it. It's so rough now. Right, that's it. That is something like what I intended. I did say snow scene, didn't I? And that's what we've got. Let's clean my brushes. Have a look at it. I'll dry it off and varnish it with the PVA glue. It's a wonderful varnish. Then I'll go downstairs, put it in a frame. Or we've got to bring the frame up. And photograph it, put it on Facebook. Put all my screenshots on Facebook, on my Dave Usher page. Also there'll be a link to Patreon for about £3 a week, perhaps just a fraction more, not £3, a month, £3 a month. You can watch this, or everything I've put on Patreon, which is about 120 odd plus videos, plus whatever videos I put on there over the next month. So I would appreciate it if you take a punt at helping us out with the cost of all the materials. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.